You tell me.
And clap. Border Barrels, we're here.
Get clapped.
Yeah, get clapped.
Ugh.
So we're here live at the Good Shed for another Ripper event. It's AFL Grand Final / Tap Takeover. Got a bunch of Stomping Ground beers on tap here today, which we're excited about, which we're having one now.
We got straight into it. You more so than me. You're almost done.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You were having a bit of a fiddle round over there, getting everything set up, and I was watching you do it. So I'm deep into a Gibb Street Pale.
About bloody meals for the whole footy side.
Yeah, but I must admit, I could do the same. So we ordered off the specials board today. You gotta, really, when you come over here, because they do have, like, it's craft beer cafe, but bloody hell, they do the other side of it well as well. We were talking about that before. It's bloody good food. So I had the hot dog. Sounds pretty standard. Was delicious.
Well, my eyes aren't great, but I can it was a cheese Kransky dog.
Yep.
But there was, like, mustard, ketchup, a bit of something in there.
And what's the cabbage thing?
Yeah, well, it wasn't, what's the German word?
Sauerkraut?
Yeah, I don't know if it was sauerkraut, but it was along those lines.
It was bloody delicious. That's all I have to say about that.
And then the pork and fennel sausage roll.
Yes. And I was going to order that, and then I had food envy. Anyway, we'll stop talking about that. But yeah, if you ever need a good beer and a good feed when you're on the border, come over to a Good Shed.
Well, we did come for the beer.
Well, yeah.
And some footy.
Yeah, well, that's right. There is some footy on today as well. AFL Grand Final, Geelong and the Swannies.
Look at us knowing who's playing.
Yeah, well, look at me knowing who's playing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so...
It's not Paul Kelly and Andrew Dunkley.
No, it's not. And my headphones have fallen out, and that is good.
They've also given you the big... Looks like they're riding a wave in there.
Yeah, it's the standard mountain culture cockatoo head.
What are they? It's a barrel. You've done it again.
Yeah, I have. I know. I'm just
come in the wrong way.
Now, we're just doing a bit of an intro because we're going to have a chat to Ryan from the Good Shed in a couple of moments' time and see what he reckons. And he's actually going to... There's no one here from Stomping Ground today.
He's going to go through the beers with us.
Oh, yeah. So he's not on the job, but yeah, no. He's going to go through the beers with us and have a bit of a tasting, and we'll have a chat and just talk through them and just talk about what his role is over here, how he got into beer and that sort of thing, and go from there.
He seems to be the resident beer expert.
Yes, he does.
If you ever need a recommendation, ask Ryan.
Yep. I was thinking it should be like a Twitter page, Ask Ryan. Like,
ask Jeeves.
Yeah, that's it. What beer do I want for this occasion? Well, I've bloody well got it in the fridge.
Well, he's bringing it. Here he is now.
Oh, speaking of.
Good timing with a coffee. I didn't know that was on tap.
Just warming up.
Stomping Ground coffee.
How good. Just warming up. Cool.
Right. So we'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, we'll break there for a minute and be back with you soon. Short, seamless break, and we're back.
Look at that clap.
Yes, and we have a guest with us. We've got Ryan from the Good Shed. Now, for those at home who don't know who you are or what you do over here at the Good Shed?
The manager down here, or one of the three that are here at the moment. Pretty well, we've got 2 venue managers, 2 owners, 3 managers, and a whole lot of other staff.
Yep.
Big boardroom.
Yeah, that's
pretty
it.
Much. My main role here is to, find new beers, get into new breweries, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Obviously managing the floor and people around me as well, but yeah, I love beer.
Yeah, that's right. And as we were saying earlier, Ryan's role is also beer Yoda.
Yeah.
He's pretty good with if you want a beer recommendation, come and have a chat to him. Now, chicken or the egg question, did the love of beer come before or after you started working here?
Before.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, only just. I was travelling overseas for a couple of years, and I didn't like beer before that. Like, I had a really bad experience when I was a kid.
Yes.
Someone touched the top of your bottle.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, you got to drink it, man. Got to drink it." So I ended up drinking all the foam out the top, and it made me spew so bad I didn't want to go back to it. So I was drinking Ted's.
Yep.
This was like, no, it was the worst experience ever. So it's just like, no, I'm not going to drink it.
Yep.
I'm not going to bother drinking beer.
Yep.
And then went overseas and started drinking La Chouffe and Duvel and that sort of thing.
Yep.
I love that style. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
Nice.
And then when I got back, I didn't realise the craft beer had picked up so much in Australia at that point. when I left, it was non-existent.
Yep.
This place was only just opening up, and your nearest craft beer was James Squire or what is it, Furphy's? And
yeah, absolutely.
It's funny how that the craft beer scene is similar to like people's journey with craft beer. It's like what people deem as craft beer and not as
And I would have to say, here at the Good Shed, way ahead of the game. So like the craft beer trend and the wave, so to speak, I would say, happened sort of after it opened. It was ahead of the game for sure. So yeah.
I think that's pretty well all on Dan as well for going. He didn't want to work at Mars anymore and wanted to do something for himself. And craft beer was it. And, he's been really on top of what's been popular and what's upcoming. But I mean, the shed itself is designed to be that not only introduction into craft beer, but to keep pushing the boundaries of what can be next. Especially for stock rotation, that sort of thing, rather than turning around and going, we'll just have the same shit time and time again.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's awesome. Huddo, what have you got? Well, we got a few pre-prepared questions.
Yeah, we came prepared, and then I wasn't prepared.
No, that's all good.
So we did that. I guess, so we've got Stomping Ground here, obviously. Is there, before we taste the ones you've got on tap, is there one that stands out to you from them that kind of alerted you to Stomping Ground?
Originally?
Yeah.
Not particularly. I mean, they were so upcoming and new at the time that we had a lot of their stock coming through, and I was really interested in seeing what they had as far as their range goes. So there's always been Gibb Street, which is really, really cool for their Movember project as well. Going for charity. And then obviously the Smash series is really, really cool as well. Like watermelon and what else? Passion fruit, raspberry, that sort of thing. They do really good sours like that. I think the one thing that really sold me on them was probably the Into the Woods series when they started doing that, which was really cool. I like the idea of that barrel-aged, wild fermented beer and that series, but they made it way too expensive to be accessible to most people. So you'd buy a case and you'd be charging $40-something odd for a bottle of beer. Who's going to pay that? But they did really well. But I like to think of them now as like that introduction to craft. I think we were talking about this, weren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're like, when we mention the craft beer journey, it's like that Stomping Ground now is, and it's not taking away from the quality at all. It actually probably promotes the quality, that it's that starting point. Like their core range is super accessible. They've just got you've got your pale ale and IPA. I don't know what the Park Ale is. That's something I got to ask you.
It's just a tropical pale.
Okay.
It's part of the Strike. Strike group. So there's like 4 or some shit.
The lager, the IPA, the pale ale, and now that Park Ale. And then you've got, like, if you want to delve into your sours, there's the Smash range,
Smash series as well.
And then the Into the Woods stuff, and then their limited releases are obviously where you take that next jump. But they're an awesome entry point because what they do really well. That's it. They do very straight up and down. But there's no complaint. I mean, like you could turn around and say the same thing about dries or drafts and be like, it's not a shit beer, right? No.
Because everyone loves it, everyone will buy it, and you'll continue to buy it because it is that good at what they do. One thing and one thing well.
You know what you're going to get.
And there's something to be said for like with draft. It's like, this is what we do it well. There's not like 7,000 options. It's like, if you want us, this is what you get.
And one thing they do as well, and I would have asked them if they were here, I don't know if have you been to they're still one of the only breweries that are standing by like the beer hall situation. So they've got the big one in Collingwood. There's the other one. Is it in Moorabbin? And then
airport.
The airport. So they've done one of my favourite.
I don't know if it's the Terminal 3.5 still. I think it's like a separate.
No, it's.
They've built a fancier.
Yeah, they have. So I've been to both.
Okay.
Travelling a little bit for work, but Terminal 3.5 was, funnily enough, between Terminal 3 and 4 outside. Yeah, I know, but outside in a shipping container or something. That's where I was first actually introduced to Stomping Ground. So that was pretty good, and I've been to they're permanently in Terminal 3 now. But yeah, sort of those destination.
They're moving closer to the big stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the big time.
They went from outside to inside.
Terminal 1 and 2 is the big time. Terminal 4's, if you're flying to Albury.
But I guess the 3.5 is probably the test. But we'll never know. I'm sure we'll ask someone at some stage. But I reckon. What do you think? We get into a bit of tasting.
I reckon.
Have we got an order here?
We do have an order. So pretty well, I've done it in order of what I've got on tap from left to right as you're facing them.
Yep.
Starting off with the Czech Pilsner.
Yes.
Cool.
And then working all the way through to the Bunker Porter.
Yeah,
right.
cool.
So I did a bit of trying to find out what's going on. Geez, that footy got loud in there. Who's that?
We probably should know who that is, but I don't.
It's the guy I like. Oh, it's Mike Brady up there, Kazalian.
Oh, what a
Lucky
legend.
that popped up on screen, otherwise I was cooked.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Copyright issues.
Cheers.
But yeah, so I did a bit of research. Now the Czech Pilsner and the Hazy Sexy Cool I didn't have a lot of info on, so you might have to...
Yeah, there's not a lot of info, and when we get around to the Hazy Sexy Cool, we'll run through that at the same time. But
Yep.
The Czech Pilsner is just a seasonal release. There's not too much that you can say. It's like it's a typical German style. You've got that really wheat base going on.
Yeah.
And that I find with Pilsner, I don't know about you guys, but I find Pilsners have like that banana taste.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get that for sure.
I was about to say, when you were saying that, like, I just took a sip and it's got that, like, it's not super banana-y, like, you wouldn't be like, this is a banana beer, but, like, I think it's the freshness, like, combined with the wheat, just appears as though it's banana-y.
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, I actually really like it. I'm not really normally a fan of Pilsners, but it's really, really good for what it is. And I reckon that anyone walking through those doors wanting to watch the AFL would probably jump straight on that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's really clean and crisp as well.
And
yeah.
it feels like a, like, you know how beers have vibes, like it feels like a sunny day watching the footy beer.
Yeah. Or if you've just mowed the lawn, this is in big trouble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that sort of beer.
You open the fridge and it's like the Jesus light through the clouds.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's like cool and
Absolutely.
drink me.
I reckon that's exactly right. I remember like being a kid and you'd mow the lawns with Dad and you'd be out the back and all of a sudden the Could Have Been Champions was on the radio and you're sitting there having a frothy afterwards. And yeah, you're right. Like that's
after the hard work's done. Absolutely. No, it's delicious.
And it's super light and refreshing, but also has that standard Pilsner flavour.
Was there notes? Did you have notes on it?
No, I just got what they sell it as. So known for its clean yeast profile and delicate herbal spiciness, attributed to the addition of the noble hop Sars, the most traditional hop used in Czech Republic.
There you go. And this is your home beer, really, isn't
hometown.
it? You're Czech.
Yep.
So it's,
well, not me directly, Dad is, but
you're a little bit Czech.
yeah.
Yeah, you're Czech enough.
Check yourself.
Yeah, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Oh, no, that's good. That's excellent.
Well, I got through that just in time for the Farmer Wants a Wife ad. I was pre-drinking for the ad.
Oh, yeah.
Just getting in the mood.
You got excited. Oh, goodness me. So what you said, now you mentioned you don't watch footy, do you?
No.
But you know who's playing today? Swannies and the Cats. Who's your tip?
Oh, good. It's kind of hard because I'd always go with the Cats because they're typically the winners out of most grand finals. Right?
Yeah.
But I want to go against the grain today and just be like, oh, Swans going to win.
Swannies, there you go.
Simon's childhood team until Melbourne won. He jumped off.
But now
I'm jumped off early, and now you're back on because they're good again.
Well, I don't really know. I can't keep up.
What do you got?
So Grazzi's sent in a couple of stats just to get us into the footy sort of chat.
Right, so bloody hell, he can't show up,
so,
but he can send in stats.
Of course, he wants to be a part of it.
All this spare time that he has.
I know. So Geelong haven't won a flag in blue shorts. They're traditional navy shorts. They've been wearing white previously.
Are they wearing blue today?
They are wearing blue today.
There you go.
So who knows?
What's the record of Sydney in whatever colour shorts they're wearing?
Not too sure. They'll be wearing the classic red, I'd say.
You would think so.
Yeah, I would think so. I'm not too sure. That's what they're in the training gear out there. So that's one of the stats. I have two more stats, but I will leave them.
Oh, you're going to drip feed?
I will drip feed the stats. Very good.
All right, well then, in the meantime, we better get a second beer up.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. We got the Gibb Street Pale.
Yeah, so the reasoning for Gibb Street is that the original beer hall is in Collingwood, is on Gibb Street.
Is it 100 Gibb Street?
Yeah, I believe, 100.
What a cool address.
100 Gibb Street.
Yeah, that's cool.
And for people that, like, you would have seen this beer around because it's all around you, but you might have seen it for the Movember. They've got the big mustache on the front. Same colour scheme, but obviously that Movember theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they give you a little, what's it called, coasters. They've got like the nose cut out, so you can have a mustache on you if you're not growing one.
Yeah, that's
just
cool.
Just to be a part of it, which is kind of cool. But they do Movember every year. And if you want to take part, then you can. Just got to hit them up for it.
Yeah.
They'll send you out some kegs, and you can sail through them, do the competition sort of thing. And it all goes to charity at the end of it. So it's a pretty cool idea to get through.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
But they seem to be at the forefront of that kind of stuff. Like the Movember can has been around for as long as I can remember seeing Gibb Street Pale Ale, and then they do the Pride Month, the Pride of Vice beer. So, like, and looking on their website, super sustainable and stuff like that. So they're kind of at the forefront of all the modern movements. That's a really poor way of putting like Pride Month in November, isn't it?
No, I know what you're saying, and they do appear to be, from what I've seen, I agree, they do appear to be sort of the first in throwing their support behind those sorts of things, which is great. So we took part in a beer tasting, an online beer tasting, which we have spoken about before with, was it Lindsay?
Yeah, now...
Well, we're not sure what her role is, but she is a bloody clever lady.
Lindsay Gregg. Does that name ring a bell?
It sounds familiar, but I have a feeling, I'm not sure whether she's the rep or whether...
Well, I believe... On LinkedIn, it seems to be a brewer of sorts, but then I looked and their head brewer is named Asher.
Yes.
Yeah, so... but... Yeah, we did a beer tasting in this science-based beer tasting, and she did the food pairings.
Oh, yeah.
And it was insane.
Whereabouts was that?
It was online. It was done through, what was it? Experimental, it was called.
Yeah.
And they, like, each brewery got a ingredient. So Shambles in Tassie, they did water.
Yeah.
Mountain Culture did malt.
Maybe it's yeast.
No, it didn't. The fancy one do yeast, the Black Arts.
Oh, maybe.
And then Prancing Pony did hops. And it was just like they just kind of used experimental stuff. But yeah, then they paired the food. So the Mountain Culture beer was paired with hundreds and thousands of biscuits. Oh. And it's like, why is that a thing? And then you have the biscuit and then you have the beer and all like the weird flavours disappeared and it was just an awesome beer.
That's interesting.
It was crazy. And then like one of them was Vegemite shapes and it did the exact same thing.
That was my favourite pairing because I didn't know Vegemite shapes existed. Vegemite and cheese shapes. Yeah. Absolutely delicious.
And now your favourite shape?
In general.
Yeah, I do, but only a smidge on my toast.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, I hate it.
I
can't stand it.
Are you using too much?
No, not using any at all.
Okay, there you go.
Just avoiding at all costs.
Oh dear.
But the beer itself, what do we vibe it?
Well, I reckon it's a solid pale ale. It's quite fragrant, and it's like there's a.
It is.
I'd be interested to see what hop. Have you got any notes on that one?
I actually have more notes on this one. So it's an American style pale ale. So it's got, I guess that I find with the American stuff, it tends to be a lot more malty.
Yeah. There's a huge malt bill behind that, and you get that. I find that lingering, almost lemon citrus flavour.
Yeah, I can catch that.
Almost like when you said with the smell, it's almost like a floral flavour as well.
Yeah. Yep.
But so what do they got? Hops, Simcoe, Cascade, and Mosaic.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, see.
Mosaic can explain all that.
Yeah. Mosaic. Anything that has it in it is bloody gold. That's my favourite.
And in colour as well. That's as gold as it comes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So named after the street we call home, this gold medal winner is full of tropical fruit, American hop character, and serious personality. So the yeast is an American ale yeast. malts, Aussie Pale, English Crystal, Wheat, and Munich.
There you go.
Robbie Williams is coming up. This is it's actually awesome. Sorry to diverge, but and he's into it.
Yeah.
I've listened to a few interviews, and he's like, to be part of a top 3 day in Australia is awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
From an international guy, and he's like, I don't like sport.
Yeah.
He loves football, soccer.
Yeah.
And he's like, I could get in Aussie rules.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, man. He's a purebred entertainer, really. When it comes down to it. I mean, if you're not there to be entertained and want a song for it,
Yeah, exactly.
Wearing all pink like that.
Yeah, it's a bold choice. They're all pink.
And I know a number of people that are there today, and it sort of makes more sense when you think of it. On TV, it's not the Super Bowl, right?
No.
But you think about the people in the crowd. I got sent a photo 2 hours ago of look at my seat. And it's well, the game doesn't start until 2:30. So they're all there at 12, getting in there nice and early. But it is great that there is some entertainment
getting real
there.
sunburn.
Oh yeah, well I know I would be.
Yeah.
I'm getting sunburn in here, and it's only just reflected light.
Yeah, feeding through.
That's it.
Do we know how many people are actually attending the game today?
I assume it's sold out. It's always sold out. The problem with especially the grand final being so commercial is that the not population, what's the bloody attendance is always governed by which business shows up.
What do you mean?
It's always the level 2, the boxes that govern the attendance.
Oh,
because the general seating is always sold out at grand finals, but they fluctuate based on who's in the box.
I've got a free ticket, but I'm not going.
Yeah, Toyota have this amount of people, and the CEO who doesn't really care is just nah, I'm not coming.
Yeah, fair enough. There you go.
So it'll be, but it's always it's got to be 90 plus.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
They fill it out.
Yeah.
That's someone from my work was I got to go to Melbourne because Billie Eilish is on the last night or tonight.
Yeah.
They're I'm not interested in being in Melbourne. Grand final, school holidays, Billie Eilish. What a shit place to be. Just in general at the moment. If you're not going to the footy.
Yeah, well, exactly.
You'd just be why are there so many people?
Yeah, I would
Do
forget.
you guys have homes to go to?
I would forget that I owned a car for a couple of days at least.
There's another place to be, man. It's called the Good Shed here in Wodonga.
Yeah,
there you go. Exactly right.
Shameless self-promotion.
Yeah, no, good on you. There's plenty of people rolling in. Another busy day ahead. It's been a busy week. It really has, with the double holidays and all that sort of thing. And
absolutely hectic.
Yeah.
You don't get a chance to do anything.
No, it's good.
You think you're getting on top of it, and then all of a sudden it's bam, straight away.
No one cares about interest rates at the moment. They're just throwing their money around. It's good. It's good. I think.
Well, the weather's turning. The sun's out. So's the wallet.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think after COVID, people are just nah. I might go out. Oh, no. Everyone's just going out. They're stuff this, living my life.
Yeah,
and what a place to live it over here at the Good Shed.
Speaking of, summertime coming around, what is your favourite summertime beer?
Favourite? Now,
you go-to.
Yeah. So my go-to beer has always been Little Creatures Rogers, because it's less than it's 1 standard drink, full flavour, amber ale, love it.
Yep.
But during the summer, amber ale is probably a bit thick.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I've always loved the 4X summer with mango.
Oh, really?
With mango. Yeah, real sweet but good. Brookie ginger beer gets a real decent run.
Yeah, that gets a workout.
That's my the Pilsner after the mowing. That's Brookies, and a 6-pack will disappear before it even realises it's been opened.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard. I'm a little bit the same. Brookie gets a big workout, and I'm glad they have the low sugar version because I don't get the. That's what gives me the headache the next day. It's the sugar.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that gets a workout. I quite enjoy a Corona, old-fashioned Corona with lime.
Lime.
Yeah, with lime, absolutely. I don't mind that as my summertime beer, but yeah, it's funny how different seasons bring out different beers. If you're drinking a stout in the middle of summer, you're the saddest person in the pub.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because I love a stout, but just as soon as it gets above 18 degrees, it's just can't do it.
It's tough sledding.
Yeah.
It's Yeah.
Yeah, it's bloody hard.
What's your go?
I'm actually a dry man.
Yeah?
Yeah. I love a bit of dry, but, like a Corona, I'll throw a bit of lime or lemon in there, just fresh, and sort of sip on that for a while. Because one, it's cheap.
Yeah.
And two, it's like water, really. It's just so easy to drink, but it's refreshing.
Yeah.
Like, you get it super cold, and it's just like, all of a sudden I've gone from being parched to like super ready to go again.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's like the bloody elixir of life. But isn't it funny, like with those beers as well, like you just get, like we said with the Pilsner, like with mowing out like during the summer, like you're just getting this mind, like when you have a brookie, it just like brings back feelings.
It does.
Like you're like, oh, summer. Like the first brookie, it's like the first brookie of the summer. You crack it and you're like, yes. Like the first bowl of the bloody summer of cricket.
Yeah,
you're
that's
like,
it.
Summer's here.
Yeah,
We're on
officially,
now.
and
it's emotional beer.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, it's more than beer.
It is. Oh dear. Righto, we'll segue into our next one here. Now, this is a part of a series. They just have plenty of sour. So this is the raspberry. The raspberry smash. I don't think I've had the raspberry smash. I've had the passion fruit. I've had the watermelon.
So they're two of the three core smashes. And
then
at the moment on the website, I saw they're doing a ginger smash.
Yes, they are. Haven't had it yet.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested to see how it goes. Is it a brewed ginger beer or is it just flavoured?
Well, that's what I was wondering. Is it like, so when I see ginger beer, I break it down into two things. So it's like your brookies, which is like, it's like a ginger beer, like a ginger ale, alcoholic ginger ale.
Yeah.
And then you've got like a lot of your ginger beers recently tend to be more like a sour beer with ginger.
Yeah. Like a Tumut River do that style.
Yeah, so the Ginger Ninja is more like a beer with ginger, whereas your brookies are more like an alcoholic ginger ale.
Yeah, it's more like your Bundaberg with just a bit of a splash of something in there.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm interested in that because obviously their Smash series is more like it's a Goes style series, and then is it like it goes with ginger, like there goes with raspberry or...
I kind of wonder about it because you call the Smash series like a sour beer, right? And you got goes, you've got sour in general, you've got like a multitude of different ways of actually doing a sour beer, whether it's done through yeast or whether it's done through hops or whether it's done through like salt water or whatever, right? So how do you turn around and sort of differentiate? Because that doesn't taste like a goes to me.
No. And it's almost like, because of the massive addition of fruit, it's almost like a cider, like a thicker cider, full of body. Like, your ciders sometimes, like, this is just sugar. Like, I can feel the sugar going through me.
Ryan, that's actually got me thinking. You were just talking about how I'm like, it's a sour. I never really thought about how they achieve that sour. Yeah, whether it is through the yeast or whatever. Yeah, that's a really interesting question.
Goes is traditionally brewed with salt water rather than like a fresh water.
Yeah. It's kind of cool though, because you do get that saltiness, like that mineral taste behind it. It's really, really cool. As far as yeast goes, I mean, like you've got Brett's, you've got wild ferments, you've got so many different variables. Like, I mean, if you had to pick a style of sour, what would be your favourite? I mean, I love a wild ferment. That would be my go-to straight out the box. But I don't want to go spending that much money on a wild ferment every time that I want one.
That's right.
Well, see, I've been pretty vocal on our pod about not liking sour beer, only because I find that sour beers tend to be super thin. And when I say sour beers, I mean like a traditional sour beer, like wild ferment's in a different category. That's a whole different thing. Like the artificial sourness of a sour beer versus like the natural sourness of a like a wildflower or something like that. But I've always, the gozes have always been kind of weird. It's like how much saltiness is in it. Like if it's super salty, I'm like,
By thin, do you think that, maybe it's just the wrong pick of flavour? Like, if it's going to be lime or watermelon or whatever, does it translate well in a drink? Like, cucumber and mint sort of thing?
True. Yeah, I think that's true. Like a raspberry, it's such a full-on taste that, like, it's hard to be thin, whereas, like, some thin sours, it could just be the fruit that they've chosen. I don't know. I've always, like, when I come in here, I always tend to fluctuate and go towards the IPAs and the heavier styles. So, just for me, like imperial sours I can drink them.
Yeah, that's completely
they're
different.
They're exempt from my hatred of sours. But this one, like, it is really good, and I'm just reading it because
what are the notes
on here. And so the yeast is a German wheat beer yeast.
Oh, really?
So that could I don't know how many other sours have that, but like that's pretty awesome. I don't know if that came through the mic. Robbie Williams just did a big love you warning.
Ah, there you go. How good is Shane Warne's stand? Yeah, that's fantastic.
So packed with real Aussie raspberries, this refreshingly tart goes bursts with berry aromas and a pleasantly puckering finish.
Puckering?
Yeah, I'm puckered.
I saw every of their Smash series, every beer is at least 10% actual fruit.
Yes.
That's a lot. That's cool.
It is a lot.
It is a lot.
Because it costs a lot of money, and they keep the price down still, which is amazing. I don't know how you manage to have that much fruit and still keep the price down to a reasonable level.
Especially raspberries. Like, buying a punnet of raspberries is like remortgaging. You may as well remortgage your home.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Like,
that's exactly right.
It's not like watermelon. Like, they're big fruits. They're not too expensive.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Passion fruit. Yeah, see, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Like, they're not exactly doing apple smash.
What were you saying about the yeast?
German wheat beer.
Yeah, because I wonder, we're talking about wild ferment. I don't know anything about it, but I wonder whether that yeast has sort of muted the flavour a little bit. It kind of tastes a little bit like a wild fermented beer, maybe?
You reckon that being almost like a raspberry Pilsner?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, I like it. It doesn't have that hue that I thought it would have, having that much fruit in it. Like, like a really bright red to go along with it, but
yeah, no, it's good.
It's not. It says tart and puckering finish. It doesn't have the sour like a traditional goes like sourness to me. Like, it is more of a longer Pilsner line.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that for sure.
I wish we had someone here from Stomping Ground at the moment.
Yes, it could talk us through it.
Some questions.
We're just guessing.
Galaxy hops.
Galaxy hops.
Yeah.
There you go. Turn tasting paddle over.
This is the big stuff now. This is the side I'm in. Like, this is my side.
And Ryan has some good facts about Hazy Sexy Cool, which we can't wait for.
Are we on Hazy Sexy Cool?
No, we're not. We're on the IPA, I think.
Yeah, okay. So a standard, not standard, it's just an IPA. When I say just an IPA, it's not a bloody quadruple dry hopped New England triple IPA. It's not a bloody Sneaper sour New England IPA. It's just an IPA.
Yep, it's just an IPA.
Hop Stomper IPA.
A well done, down the line. If you want hop forward IPA, that's the way to go. And it's great. It is really, really good. It's probably one of my favourite IPAs if I'm going to go, if I want something just to drink.
Yep.
And in an IPA, all the way.
No, I haven't had this one before, but I have to say, looking at the colour, it's quite light for an IPA.
It's super light.
Yeah.
It almost looks lighter than their pale ale.
Yeah, it does. And I smell maybe passion fruit or something. Is it in there?
Yeah.
No passion fruit.
Do we have a hop list on this one too?
Mosaic, Simcoe, Citra, Cascade.
Yeah, okay.
So if I ranked hops, just on my limited knowledge, it's Citra, Mosaic, everything else.
Yeah. I would say Mosaic's my number one.
Really?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
See, I just love like the tropical citra flavors.
Yeah.
Like I think with Mosaic, it's like not that it's bad, but like Citra, I've never had a bad Citra beer.
Yeah.
No, the what was it? I think it was Blackman's had a real nice Citra going on, and they got the Simcoe Cryo going on as well, which is really bloody good.
Yeah, nice.
I'm with you, man. Like, Mosaic is my favourite hop by a million miles.
Yeah.
It's like before Pirate Life got bought out, Pirate Life Mosaic was really bloody good.
Yep.
Actually, yeah.
And Akasha's Mosaic and the double Mosaic.
Yeah, the Hazy double.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite beers.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
That's true.
That is,
yeah, shit. Now that I'm thinking about it, you're convincing me.
Yeah, putting a good case together. But yeah, no, this is Yeah, for something that's quite light in colour, like you taste it and like, well, yeah, it's still an IPA. I can taste it.
Well, it is super hop driven, isn't it? It's like, but the colour doesn't give you that hop colour.
No. You'd expect it to be a bit darker, but...
Yeah. Like, so that's the Gibb Street in that cup there. If you put them next to each other, you could argue that
Could you really tell the difference?
Hey?
Could you really tell the difference?
No. Which is interesting because I think if most breweries you put the pale and the IPA next to each other, you could.
Yeah.
That's not a slight. That's not a bad thing. No. It's just an interesting thing. I'd love to be able to ask.
Come on.
Just firing shots.
Yeah.
That's it.
It probably won't stop.
Probably can't stop, won't stop.
6% though. That like it is heavy.
Yeah.
So what do we got? Inspired by the tradition of stomping hops into bales, our West Coast IPA has a firm bitterness and citrus aroma. Now, even when I read West Coast IPA, it seems even further from what it is.
I don't get the West Coast from it.
No.
At all.
Because West Coast IPA is like, again, we're going to talk about the colour. It's not even... West Coast is dark.
Yeah, they're dark. You get that bitterness,
yes.
that real bitterness coming through, and then that piney resinous taste to go along with it, and it lingers in the mouth. But I'm not getting that with that. It's very clean, very light, very easy drinking, but I wouldn't call that a West Coast.
No, I wouldn't either.
No, because like IBU levels are through the roof on a West Coast.
Yeah.
Compared to a traditional IPA. Yeah. No, but...
Which is the bitterness, that's IBU. What's it stand for? That's a
International
bitterness.
Bitterness Units.
Is that what it actually is?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's pretty fun.
So you had the Old Wives Ales, Can I Has IBU?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you drink it?
Yeah, it's insane.
I bought it too, and I don't like bitter, and I was like, righto. And then I bought, actually, I remember texting you, and that's when I learned what IBU meant.
Yeah.
I was like, it's got a cat on the front, I'm in. And then, I bought it, and I had a bit of a taste. I'm like, and then I Googled, and I learned what IBU meant. That's right.
Because we had Simmo, there's one of the better podcasts we've done is the day that he had Six String Brewing's Gabs beer they did this year, the quadruple dark red IPA.
I did not see that at all.
And it was in the Gabs pack at Dan Murphy's if you want to go and get a can, but Simmo being a not high IBU man, I think the IBU of that was 120, and like the highest IBU I've ever seen is 100.
Yeah.
So Simmo, like you can audibly hear him just slowly descending into madness.
It's like, ugh, this sucks.
And then like every sip as he got more and more drunk, he was like, and by the end of it he was like, yeah, it was alright. But like he was just...
Because it was interesting, it sort of drank the same way as...
life left his eyes.
Yeah, it drank the same way as a stout. So it was a red IPA, but it was like 12% and it was really bitter. But as it warmed up...
It was like molasses.
Yeah,
like it was like a honey.
Yeah, as it got to room temperature, it got a little bit better because you'd get more of the flavour rather than just the bitterness. But tough gig that one. But not a West Coast IPA, I've decided.
No. Blatant lying. Come to Stomping Ground beer is not the truth.
No way.
You'd have to wonder what the marketing department was thinking on that.
Yeah, that's right.
So, thinking about it the other day, apparently Moondog, and I only heard this not too long ago,
breaking news.
They had a beer that was going to go through, and I believe the name of it was Cherry Popper.
Yep.
So it got...
Yes.
Yeah, so they were doing a cherry sour.
Yeah.
And they called it Cherry Popper. And then all of a sudden it got through marketing, it got through head of departments. And then someone internally had a bit of a complaint about this. And went, do you see the problem with the name of this beer? And we went, no, what's wrong with it? It's called Cherry Popper. Think about it for a second.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh shit.
We are going to change that.
So all the marketing's been done, all the posters done, everything had to be retracted.
Isn't that crazy? Because that's like the opposite. Not the opposite, but like obviously there's been beers like from Hop Nation with the Jedi Juice that were originally Jedi Juice that have issues with marketing because it sells to kids.
Yes.
Oh yeah, anything with
Like
so milk, hill
the
people milk from mountain culture had to be changed.
just to oat. What are they? Just Hill People Oat Cream IPA now.
I think so. Yeah.
Like all the Three Ravens milkshake. I haven't seen a lot of theirs getting around. I find it pretty crazy.
Well, like, what kid is going in and going, okay, milkshake, I'll buy that. They go to the counter, like, I'll have this milkshake. And they're like, well, no, this is a beer.
What is that? Like, with
I don't understand.
The Jedi Juice stemmed from a guy went in to buy beers for himself, and his kids were like, can I get this? And he was like, I'm not having that.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I always thought there was like a whole Disney reference there of like after they bought the rights to Star Wars that they've gone, we don't want you making anything called Jedi Juice anymore. But that's not the case.
Yes.
It's because someone made a complaint because their kid was interested.
Oh God.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. I don't. Yeah. Anyway.
But it is like when you with the Star Wars thing, like it is funny, like. We've mentioned it a few times, like how certain breweries get away with things.
Yeah.
Like Dayton have that whole like the chewy big red IPA, the raw. They had the Imperial Stormtrooper one. They had the bloody like it's just like there's been I think Holgate do a Millennium Falcon beer, and it's like I feel like these small craft breweries. Do they have the funding to buy rights of Star Wars for their beers?
No.
It's just so, like, or are they exempt from copyright law?
I don't think you'd be exempt from copyright law because even as an individual, you know, they keep a close eye on pirating and that sort of thing. Yeah. But you'd be sent a cease and desist letter to go, well, you know, this is trademark or copyright infringement. Yeah. Don't do this. Don't use the image. Don't use the name. But, you know, as far as a small brewery goes, I mean, you've only got how much money coming in versus how much going out to keep expanding that business.
Like, is the value there for like Holgate, for example, to buy those rights? Like, are they selling that many Millennium Falcon XPAs or whatever it is that it justifies buying the name from Star Wars for that day? It's the same as like Old Wives' Ales with the Old Man Yells at Cloud. Like that is a blatant Simpsons head.
100%.
At the Cloud, like
I'm pretty sure they've got Abe's head there, don't they?
Like it's got to be.
Well, I wonder if it's a case of
or Simpsons and Disney are just like
Yeah, so that's what I reckon.
Go
so
for it.
It just comes through the
marketing for them.
Yeah, it comes through the legal department and they're like, how much do they net a year? And they're like, X amount. They're like, let them have it. Don't worry about it. It's not worth it.
You say that because like the malt shed out at Wang ended up closing down. So small country brewery closed down because Malt Shovel, a mass-produced Australian business, said you can't have malt where it's too close to Malt Shovel.
That's right. Is Malt Shovel owned by anyone? Or are they still independent?
Isn't Malt Shovel to do with James Squire?
I'm not too sure.
I'm not too sure either.
I don't want to bring James Squire into this, but they're aligned. I can't remember which one, but I'm fairly sure they're
it's funny because Benspo do the crossover. So
with Malt Shovel.
Malt Shovel. Benspo, they call it Ben Shovel.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's on malt. Our podcast isn't based on facts. It's just us wildly throwing shit around, hoping that something sticks. No, but it's malt. Something to do with malt.
So Malt Shovel is owned by Lion.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm fairly sure it was Malt Shovel, but it was Malt... It is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Shit stuck. See, I'm telling you. But, yeah, like, it's just... It's such a weird industry, because we've brought this up before, like, how many industries would, like, competitors, like, for example, 2 weeks ago, Mountain Culture and Deeds did a collab. Yet they're probably two of, we've said like Mountain Culture run New South Wales, Deeds run Vic. How many industries would two direct competitors collab to be like, let's do something together? Like, because Grazzi brought up, music, but that's not like when people feature on other songs, but we said that's probably the record label saying do this with this person. Like, it'd be weird. It's like KFC and Macca's doing a collab. It's like you're the
They really should. I'd eat that.
Well, I'd eat their deep fried, like, KFC crumb fries done in a deep fryer from Macca's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how good.
But yeah, it's just so, like, the beer industry is so friendly towards each other whilst also being rivals on paper.
Yeah. Well, as I said, the abundance mindset, it's like, there's room for everyone.
Well,
there
I guess
really
because
is.
it's like the craft is still the little dog.
Yeah.
Like, in the grand scheme of things, for us, Mountain Culture and Deeds are the two big ones, but they're still the little dog when it comes to CB and Lion. And
I have a feeling like it's not even like the New South Wales versus Victoria thing.
Yeah.
It's, if I'm going to expand my name and you've got a name for yourself already, like Mountain Culture or Range, turning around and going, why don't we do this together?
Yeah.
And we'll send our beers up to you and you send your beers down to us. And it's all about name expansion rather than probably beer expansion.
And to go full circle, I mean, like you come to the Good Shed and they're both in the same fridge, you know, depending on what you've got in at the time. But like,
that's true.
you know, if you come in like, oh, I'm looking for, you know, Mountain Culture, and like, oh, Deeds, I might try that one, or the opposite thing. So, but I do agree, it's one of those industries that do collab. It's not as if, you know, there's many, say, retailers that collaborate on products, or that's like Nike don't collaborate with Adidas or anything like that.
No, they do collaborate with Supreme and North Face and such like that.
And Kanye.
Yeah.
I'll have my Air Jordans, thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Jordans.
That's it. Yeah, I love them.
Righto. What do we got next? No, because this is... I thought we'd get back into this, because this is the... Brian's got all the facts.
This is the Hazy Sexy Cool. So this is the IPA style. There are two others. It's a cold IPA and a West Coast, and they're done in a series.
Yeah, which I didn't know. I didn't know it was a part of a series.
Oh, I didn't know this either until earlier. I turned around and gone, oh, well, that's information I should need right now.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
I believe you could, when it was available, buy a mixed six-pack, like two of each.
Yeah,
It was the Hazy Sexy Cool range, and it was
so you can do it as a mixed six, so two of each, or you can do like the slab or the 12, I think.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, look, as far as this goes, it is exactly what it says it is. It's hazy.
Yeah.
It's an IPA. It's hop forward.
Yeah.
No seeing through that.
But yeah, I mean, as far as hazy goes, I honestly thought that the haze train would have dropped off over the last couple of years, because it's been when Bolter poured out was their hazy IPA.
Yep.
That keg lasted about 10 hours here and it was sold out.
Yeah, right.
And it was a 50-litre keg. It just doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
But I mean, the haze craze has been a continual thing and probably will continue to be.
Well,
it's just for quite a while.
Yeah.
It's ever expanding, isn't it? Like, there's just what they're doing with hazy style beers is just going through the roof. Like we've mentioned, all the quadruple dry hops and the New England and everything. Like, there's just so many options with hazy IPA, and I feel like it's one of those things that you can just do so much flavour-wise. Like, you can add so much shit to it to make it different.
Yeah. I suppose like that naming scale is kind of almost irrelevant where you turn around and go, well, an oak cream is a hazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a New England is a hazy.
Yeah.
And then a hazy is what? How are you supposed to differentiate between this and that and the other thing, apart from getting down to the nitty-gritty of, does it contain lactose?
Yep.
Or, what makes it New England apart from how it's been brewed?
Yeah, that's
What's your thoughts on lactose in beer? Yay or nay?
Nay for the better part.
Okay.
I don't mind it. I think one of the first oak creams that I actually really enjoyed was Nikki from Mountain Culture.
Absolutely. That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a really, really great oak cream. But as far as other lactose in beers, it can be so detrimental to the beer itself that it almost ends up being too oaty.
Yep. Yeah, see, I love... We talk about this with Mountain Culture. It's not a flavour characteristic, but their beers are so pillowy. Like, they're so soft in your mouth. And, like, I find it more abundant in their lactose beers. So when I say I love lactose in beer, it's pretty much exclusive to, like, the Mountain Culture. Like, when they put lactose in their beers, it just makes it so soft.
Yeah. And I have had
the Hill people.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And I have had beers that have had too much in it, like they're just super sweet. But it's great when it's like, you know, it's got an asterisk. It's just like a little bit of oat cream.
Contains a little bit
you know,
of
it's a little bit of lactose.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit is good. So what are the notes on this one?
Super limited again. Chilling deep in a hazy hue, bright citrus and tropical fruit notes make this IPA hella juicy and super fresh.
Yeah, that's
spot on.
That's spot
Succinct.
on. Yeah.
It's all, like, I'm trying to find out, like, the fruit makeup of it. Like, is it peach or no?
No, I would say no, only because peach and apricot, like the stone fruits, I normally turn my nose up at.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
There's definitely like a passion.
Oh, but maybe.
There's obviously like the standard passion fruit, like pineapple-y kind of, like the vibrant ones. But in my mind, I was like, is that peach?
Is that peach?
Is that?
I'm not too sure. It's almost to the point of too complex.
Yeah.
Like
there's a lot.
Differentiating between what's what. I mean, like, I can't pick what's hops and what's external to that anymore.
Yeah. There's definitely Citra hops.
Yes.
That's
yes, we've got that.
I can guarantee that.
Guaranteed.
And then I would say maybe there'd be probably not a Mosaic, but like a Simcoe maybe.
I'd agree with that.
Simcoe Citra and maybe like something different, like a Vic Secret. Nah, that's more piney.
There's that real bitterness. It's not. It's fruity but bitter.
Yeah. So what? You know, the one I still can't put my finger on is Centennial. Now, we've got a beer, the last one, the Bunker Porter, is a Centennial, but...
Oh, interesting.
And East Kent Goldings, but we'll get into that. But Centennial and, what was the one that Deeds did in the D-Cat? They did a weird one that I was like, I don't know about. Like, the flavouring just wasn't
which is ironic, because the series is...
Don't know about that. Yeah, I definitely didn't know about that one, but I can't remember which one.
But Centennial for me, that's very grassy. That's my take on it.
Is it a New Zealand hop anyway?
I'm not too sure. I don't know.
I find a lot of New Zealand hops give you that real
grassy
flavour.
Like and like piney.
Yeah.
Like Motueka and all those. Yeah.
And Nelson something?
Savon.
Seven? Or something like
Salvin?
I would say Savon because of wine, but it's definitely Salvin.
Sauvignon Blanc?
Yeah. Do you know?
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Sauvignon beer, man.
Sauvignon beer, that's it. Sauvignon beer, bitch.
Overall, do we like it?
Yes.
Yeah, we like it. Yep.
That's their strongest one. Like, I guess it probably coincides with the fact that it's limited, but it's their strongest. Yeah. I think if I'm to rank them so far, I'd go that and then the Gibb Street, because the Gibb Street just nails it.
Yeah, it's like, a really solid.
If you want one of the, well, in my experience, is probably the best regularly available pale ale. Yeah. But that could be because I'm so into.
I'm gonna go to the loo.
Oh,
I'm dancing.
Jeez. Like, I love malt driven, so like that American style pale ale suits me. That's why I love like Roger's Amber.
Yes. Yeah, that's fair, man.
Malt and biscuit
I
flavors.
kind of wonder about those things. Like, I love a West Coast, but I like a light West Coast.
Yeah.
And an East Coast as far as like a bit of hit and miss, and then.
Okay.
I think it was last year someone released a mid-coast.
Yeah,
and everyone's going like, oh, what's a mid-coast, man? And just like, well, it's halfway between here and here. It must be obviously mid-coast.
Well, it was just kind of an IPA.
Exactly. It's kind of an IPA.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about it.
Well, it's funny because Grassy loves his West Coast IPAs, and Simmo and I definitely lean more towards like New England Hazy's and like an East Coast style, like the lighter styles. last night I had the Hope double West Coast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a bit hectic for me.
Yeah, it's a bit too big.
Yeah, like, as well, it probably contributes, like, my not a massive fan of West Coast definitely contributes to it.
Yeah.
Like, I love a heavy beer. Like, as the alcohol goes up, my enjoyment level goes up.
Yeah.
But for them, I think, like, the bitterness definitely correlates. Like, that's why I love a stout, because they're not super bitter. They're smooth.
Yeah.
I tell you, Hawker's, if you can get your hands on it, Hawker's whiskey edition of their latest stouts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, insane.
Is that a collaboration with someone, or is it just like they've done in a whiskey barrel?
It's not shown on the can, but yeah, it's just a whiskey barrel-aged imperial stout, and it's like 4-point-something% that drank like a 2%. And that's not thin, that's just, it was just
That easy drinking.
smooth.
Yeah. I find that with a lot of beers lately, I mean, obviously tastes evolve over time, but to turn around and go be like, my favourite, so at the moment, obviously, Range and Mountain Culture, they just do beers very, very well. They do it in such small batches that it's really hard to get a hold of, and I suppose it kind of entices you to go, whoa, well, that's amazing. But I've had the Goodbye Moon Men, like we were talking about, and I would drink that for days and days and days, because it's smooth, it is exactly what it says on the can, and it's 10 and a bit %, but I would never taste the alcohol in that. Where I taste the alcohol in a West Coast at 7%.
Yeah.
I would never taste that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry to digress. You spoke about drinking Tooheys Extra Dry before.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Tooheys Extra Dry Platinums?
Unfortunately.
Oh, I can still taste them now.
Yeah.
Speaking of, like, you got 10, 12% beers and not being able to taste the alcohol. Ted's Platinum, you could taste the alcohol. It's like a beer and someone just tipped vodka in it or something.
They were horrible.
Oh God! And they came in 8-packs or something.
I'm not sure whether they did the 8-packs or not, because anyone who was actually buying that would generally buy the slab.
Oh yeah, well yeah, touche. Oh goodness me.
Because they're alcoholics, like.
Yeah.
I was just going to bring up the footy again.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw during the week that Joel Selwood said he was going to run out with Gary Ablett's son, Levi.
Yeah.
Now, Gary didn't get to in his last grand final because obviously they were in the hub up in Brisbane, and he famously left the hub because Levi was sick.
Yep.
So Joel just ran out with Levi, and it was pretty
special.
Awesome.
No,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Like you could see, like Levi got pretty excited. Like,
Gary should have just run out. Why didn't they just get him to run out?
But looking at him, I reckon he could have played.
Oh.
If he dropped the suit and jumped into his Geelong Cats gear, he'd get 40 touches today, easy.
Yeah, as I've said before, I met him one time, and I did had a photo with him, and you do the hand around the back thing, and I had my hand on his lower back, and it was just muscle.
It's like, I didn't know these muscles were a thing.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have that. What's going on? I just feel spine and a bit of pillow.
Yeah, but like that,
It's this.
it's just special. Like I think that's why we fell in love with footy, like that kind of thing. And it's all sports, but
yeah, it is.
Like it's just bigger than that grand final day. Like for young Levi, like that's pretty special getting to run out. Like he got to go out on the biggest day in the calendar. Like,
exactly. Well,
brings a tear to the eye.
It does. And I've got another Geelong fact. So the last two teams to win a preliminary final by 71 points got absolutely pantsed in the grand final.
Who?
So I don't have those teams, but Geelong won by 71 points the other week. So interesting. I'm tipping Geelong.
I am too.
Because
I really do want Geelong to win.
Yeah. And I think
not going to happen.
No, I know.
As we said on the podcast last week, talking about the footy, it's like, Geelong, the average, it's 28 years old is the average age.
28 years, 181 days.
Yeah, and Swannies are about 15 and a half. They're very young, and it won't be the last you see of Swannies. They're building to something big.
Whereas Geelong, this could be a last hurrah.
Yeah, it could be, because there's danger, there's Hawkins, Cameron,
Selwood.
Guthrie's
Cameron's not super old. Neither's They're older, but they're not on the way out by any means.
Okay, well, I take them back. Don't worry about that. Retract. We'll edit that out.
We don't edit.
I know it.
All right, let's get into this last beer, and then you can get into your last fact, and then Ryan can get into pouring beers.
I don't want to.
You can hang with us as long as you want.
Mate, I'm done for the day. I'm sitting here.
Yeah, jump in.
I'm actually not. I've got to go back to work. I can't be bothered anymore.
What do you got for us? What's this one?
This is the Bunker Porter. As far as I know, it's just part of their core range, produced year round. Typical malt notes, chocolate, coffee, but really, really good, just straight up and down. If you think that a porter should be not necessarily light, but not quite stout, it fits that bill.
Yeah,
and
I'd
as
agree.
far as the flavour behind the porter is that chocolate, malt, and coffee.
Yeah.
Then it also fits that bill. So nothing super exciting about it, but a really good beer.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it kind of along the lines of their Gibb Street Pale, where it's just, you want a pale, you want a porter, well, this does it well.
Yeah, that's true. It's quite smoky.
It's roasted.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, right.
You've sat that in front of the fire for a while.
Yeah, for sure. What are the notes? You got any tasting notes?
I got, legend has it, a wartime bunker lies beneath the brewery.
Okay, there you go.
Rich in chocolate and roast characters, our porter is also dark, mysterious, and full of secrets. Now, it makes it seem like they've put some stuff in it that you probably wouldn't want to put in a beer.
Yeah.
Like, it's always when I read special sauce, I'm like, semen.
Not suggesting that this porter
I'm not.
has that in it at all.
No, I'm not. But when you read special sauce, it's like,
Yeah.
I know what special sauce is.
Yeah. I'm not getting too much chocolate, but I am getting smoke in it.
Made fresh this morning.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. That's good.
I can make you some more special sauce if you really need.
Goodness.
That's inappropriate for children.
That is.
Our
Yes.
whole podcast is inappropriate for children. And you know how I know that? Because I have to tick that on YouTube every time I upload.
Yes, and we have to
It's
put
like,
explicit for...
Is this okay for kids? It's like, absolutely not.
Not at all.
So many semen references.
Goodness. No, that's pretty good. I reckon that's pretty good.
It is good. It is the winner of Best Porter or Stout at the Australian International Beer Awards 2022. I can
really?
see why.
Wow.
There you go. It's not too
I
bad.
thought it just won the ABA, not the international.
They could have. This was off their website. They
Could have been doctored.
Yeah,
They could have made it up.
Wouldn't be the first business to exaggerate.
I've got a question, Ryan. Now, if you don't know, that's fine. We had that discussion about what the difference between a porter and a stout is.
Oh yeah.
I don't really know.
Well, because
I know a porter's thinner.
We're confused
taste.
with I think it stemmed from Bridge Road's Egg Star when they rebranded to Chocolate Porter.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
right.
This isn't a porter.
Yeah, because it's a
Totally is.
because it's a chocolate ale.
It wasn't a stout, but like I was like this because they do their robust porter, and it wasn't even the same
thing.
Yeah, like mouthfeel was way different.
Yeah.
Because like the robust porter's almost like what I think of a porter is like bubbly almost, whereas like the chocolate porter or the Eggster is like smooth.
Yeah. That Egg Star, I'll tell you,
melted chocolate.
Well, this is not the most exciting thing on the face of the planet. According to the BJCP, a porter is described as a substantial, malty dark beer with a complex and flavourful dark malt character, whereas a stout is described as being fairly strong, highly roasted, bitter, hoppy, and dark.
So they're the same.
We're not any closer.
Thanks, Google.
Because like I always find it weird, and then you've got like Guinness.
Yeah. Because Guinness.
That's obviously nitro.
Yeah, it is nitro, and when you taste the Guinness,
that's a porter.
Yeah, but it's quite. It's.
So, just while I'm at it, sorry.
No, go for it.
The BJCP is Beer Judge Certification Program.
Okay, I was going to
Well,
say.
I'm never passing that because if they go, what's the difference between a porter and stout, I just say nothing.
Yeah.
And they'd go, no, so many things.
Yeah.
Who's to say whether this is that and this? And apparently they can't draw a line either.
Well-
It's the same with the independent certification standard, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The certification for independent is so broad.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to go, well, dude, even if you're partnering with this guy or that guy or whoever,
Paul Kelly.
Oh, Paul Kelly. What a legend.
he's done dumb things.
Sydney legend.
Wrong Paul Kelly.
Oh, I didn't see.
No, but that was Sydney Paul Kelly, not
Okay.
singer Paul Kelly.
Oh, yeah. No, oh, right.
There's two Paul Kellys. I didn't know that 10 months ago.
Oh, there you go.
Simo's like, I know Paul Kelly used to deliver boxes.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
Yeah,
When he
it's-
wasn't doing gigs.
but he
And it's
also-
like, no, different Paul Kelly.
Yeah, so it was Captain Kelly, and then he also held the record for the most bloody chin-ups in the AFL at some stage.
Did he?
And then, one day I was at my place of work, and he turned up delivering some boxes. He had a courier back in Wodonga. I was like, Paul Kelly? He's like, yep. And I've got some boxes. Do you want to bloody sign them? And I was like, well, do you
want to sign them?
Do you want my autograph? Of course, it was classic. Do you want my autograph? I should be getting yours.
Classic sign. But
Back to the stout and porter thing, just quickly. I think the stouts are a little bit thicker in mouthfeel.
yeah.
A little bit more syrupy, perhaps.
Well, I found that the porter tends to be a lot more carbonated. Like a porter is almost like feels like, and by the look at it, you can kind of get that. It's like a alcoholic Coke.
Yeah.
Like
it's got the bubbles.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Whereas not cocaine.
No. But you're talking about.
Imagine an alcoholic Coke juice.
Well, that'd be confusing. Be speeding up and slowing down at the same time.
But no, whereas like a stout is like it's smoother, like it's a lot more milky. Like in the way it looks, if you move it around a cup, it's like leaves the residue like a milk.
Is that because most stouts are nitro?
Maybe.
In Australia, we don't have if you go to any pub, you got a dark tap, right? But is that beer on nitro? It's not as popular as being overseas and going, well, I'm going to go get a Guinness or I'm going to go get whatever, and chances are you're going to have a nitro tap.
Yeah, that's
but in
true.
Australia, you're not really getting it that much. Is the idea of a stout that you're going to get something that's on nitro because you're expecting Guinness, for example?
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't. Maybe if I know.
I never really. When I get a stout, I'm never like, oh, this will be like Guinness. Guinness just sits in a whole different realm to me of like it's its own. It doesn't have a definition.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like if I go through like pale ale, IPA, blah blah blah, stout, porter, Guinness.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I've had a Guinness many years ago. I'm like, geez, this is like eating, like having a meal as a beer. But then after all the stouts I've had, going back to Guinness, I'm like, it's really thin.
Guinness is beautiful.
Yeah, it is good. It's nice and smooth.
Every time I get a Guinness, I'm surprised by how much I love it.
Guinness versus Kilkenny.
Guinness.
Okay.
Guinness.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, like, since having been to Ireland and having a Guinness, I'm like, oh, I get it. I get why this is big. Like, here it's a bit different because it's like a token, like, oh, this is Irish. Like, St. Paddy's Day, it's like, Guinness! But, like, having been there...
Place of potatoes, man. Like, damn.
But having been there, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah. Very good.
So that's all six.
That's all
Stomping Ground
six.
beers.
That is.
Yeah, well, we might wrap it up then. Let Ryan get back to work. No. What else? What else you got?
Keep going. All right. On that note, because I probably do have to get back to work. How about what do we reckon our favourites are?
So I'm going Hazy, Sexy, Cool, Gibb Street, and Bunker Porter.
Yep. As a 1, 2, 3.
2 and 3 are on the same level. Hazy, Sexy, Cool stood out, and the Pale Ale and the Bunker Porter are equal second because what they do it well.
Yeah. I would have to say Gibb Street was actually my favourite, followed by Bunker Porter because I do like a dark beer, although it's above 18 degrees. What do you reckon?
I'm with Pilsner as number 1.
Yeah.
Gibb Street as second, and actually Porter as the last.
Very good.
Oh, so what we've worked out is their core stuff is good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
If you want some good core range beers from a brewery, hit up Stomping Ground.
That's it. Well, thank you to Stomping Ground for providing the taps. Thank you to Ryan for paying for the taps.
Thank you to Good Shed.
Thank you to Good Shed for having us. And if you're ever on the border, Albury, Wodonga, and you need a beer or a good bloody feed, come into the Good Shed.
You mentioned we did have one listener that was in the area that came down to the Good Shed. And
Brian. Shout out to Brian.
Shout out Brian.
Yeah, shout out to
Brian. He came to the Good Shed after hearing us rave and rant about it.
Brian Gleason?
I know. Brian was who I was talking to last night, but Reese, another shout out to Reese, who's from Wagga, and he heard that we were talking about Good Shed, and he came down here on a work trip, and he comes down here every time now. And
he said, "What a place! Thanks for the recommendation."
Yep.
No, not quote. That's not a quote. That's just me putting words in his mouth.
I don't think he's really going to sue you for that. I think he's pretty happy with the place.
Well, as we've learned, people don't sue people.
No.
I'll just mention Star Wars a bunch, and I can't get sued.
That's right. We'll see how we go. We'll give it a shot. But yeah, thanks to the Good Shed for having us. Thank you to Ryan for his time.
Thank you guys for having me. It's been really, really good.
Absolutely.
Really enjoyed this.
Yeah, good stuff. The footy's about to come on, and I'd
it's
say,
on.
Go Cats.
Go Cats. Stop that. Turn that off. Eliminate what's happening. Tell me when.
Another clap. Yep, we've got the thin line there. We're back. So basically finished up with Ryan. We watched a bit of footy, and we've watched
1 quarter.
Yeah, we watched 1 quarter, and we've had a bit of time to have a few beers. So this one might be a bit more
tough.
But
it's not going to go for long. So lucky you, listener.
Yes, exactly. And we're just doing a bit of a raffle in the background, or something's going on.
Bit of handball comp.
Yeah, bit of handball comp. Huddo did quite well.
No, poorly.
Oh, 2 sevens and a 5. It's not too bad.
2 sevens and a 5.
Oh, that's all right.
It's better than a 0.
It is better than a 0. Did very well.
Didn't get it in the big 10 banger.
10 banger. That's all right. Hello. Marcella's here. Marcella is in the
family-friendly
booth.
event.
Hello. Do you want a microphone? You can go sit next to Huddo.
Yeah, jump in.
No, come on.
Special guest Marcella.
Yep.
The beer connoisseur, as she's known.
Yep. How good. This is Marcella's first time on the pod.
First time.
Got to get in close.
Yeah, got to get in real close.
Just hug the mic.
Oh, you need to project your voice.
Give us a bit.
I said I'm just going to hug the mic with my mouth.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to need a bit more out of you there.
This has potential to be extremely loud.
Oh, it is. It's already extremely loud.
Yeah, very good. So, just doing a wrap of what we've done. So we had Ryan from the Good Shed talking about Stomping Ground. It was really handy having him on, as we said off air, because he knows a lot more about beer than we do. So if you do need a recommendation, come over to the Good Shed and he'll sort you out. But we went through the tasting paddle and went through our favourites. And then we watched the first quarter of footy, and Sydney are in trouble, if I'm completely honest.
Well, yeah, it's as made famous by Top Gun, but it is highway to the danger zone for the Swans.
Absolutely.
I feel like I've had as many touches in this grand final as half the Swans team.
Yeah, it's quite possible. And just bring up what happened to start off. Oh, you were talking about Gary Ablett's son and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so Joel Selwood ran out with Levi, Gary Ablett's son. So Gary wasn't able to run out with Levi in his last game, which was the 2020 grand final up in Brisbane. And obviously, not obviously, but as footy fans would know, Gary Ablett's son has been quite sick. Gary left the hub to be with his family when Levi was admitted into hospital back in 2020. And it was pretty special seeing him, Joel, running out with Levi. You could see the excitement in Levi's face.
He's pretty pumped with all the pyrotechnics and stuff going on in the background.
It's 95,000 people. The Geelong Cat songs playing, like he would have, like he's grown up with his father, Gary Ablett Jr., being the Geelong great, and it was just really nice to see, and I've kind of it affirmed my love of Selwood. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Selwood today, and that he's I was going to say, what is community service? What's the average a week or something?
So they said since he started playing footy, he's done 1,000 hours of community service.
That's huge.
And that averages to about an hour and a half a week.
Yeah.
For a guy that's also a club captain.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like, he's got a lot of things on his plate, and that he's doing that for his community. And Geelong, as a city, are very lucky to have someone like that, aren't they?
We got a 10, ladies and gentlemen.
Someone's got a 10.
We got a 10. Oh my goodness!
Put it straight through the hole.
How good! That was bloody great. It's a good atmosphere down here today. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? No, this.
Oh, Frank.
Frank's about to get up and have a go.
Good Shed patron and newly Wodonga Diamonds Life member.
Yeah, what a legend! What an absolute legend.
Marcy, you going to have a go?
No.
No, come on, he should get in line.
Simo didn't.
No, I didn't either.
Of course he wouldn't.
Oh, come on.
Bloody Border Barrels podcast all about the footy and doesn't even give a handball.
What's your
He's allergic to fun.
That's pretty funny.
And leather by the sounds.
Who's your tip for the, like, obviously we've seen this first quarter and Geelong are up. Who's your tip for the grand final?
I reckon the team that's going to kick the most goals
Yeah, that's
will
good.
be the one that wins.
Yeah, no, that's good for
You
you.
heard it here first.
Yeah,
Not
that's
always
true.
100% hit rate, but it's,
It is
99% chance.
Yeah, it is possible that the
team
team
that kicks more behinds wins.
Yes, it is possible, but it is pretty rare.
Yeah, and that's where the fun lies.
Oh, goodness.
Marcy really playing the odds.
I know. And playing it cool over that side of the table for sure. Do you have anything more, Hud? Because it's getting pretty bloody wild here.
Yeah, I reckon I want to get back into the footy because we've had a good game so far despite the scoreline. Who's down injured? Tom Papley.
Ah, Pap.
Grub Sport himself.
Grub Sport himself. And I tell you what, there was a bit of stuff happening during the week.
He was enjoyable. It was great.
He was great. He really leant into it, and I think that's what you got to do.
The Pies fans' tears were fueling him.
Yes, absolutely.
If anything.
And I saw that sign, like how Sydney got into the grand final, that push, and then it,
just the Snapchat of him filming it and then switching the camera around to him like.
That was very funny. I did see that. Good old Grub Sport, loves it. But yeah, so what are we? Second quarter. Cats are up 41-7. I don't know. We'll see how we go. But we'll have a full wrap up next week.
We did pick Geelong from the start.
Yeah.
They've looked the better team.
Yeah.
I think the benefit of Sydney is their game is all based on effort. So if they can turn it up, they'll turn it on.
Yeah. Turn it on.
The thing is that the way Geelong play, they can limit that. So we'll see what happens. But we've got a lot of footy to play and a lot of drinking to be done.
That's
from
it.
The Border Barrels crew.
That's it. But I have one last fact.
Yes, finish on a stat that is incomplete because Zach didn't send all the information.
So Logan McDonald.
Yes, famously dropped.
Is the first player to be dropped for a grand final since John Segler in 2014.
Does that mean anything in the scheme of things?
Well, Segler now plays for Geelong, but still didn't get picked to play today.
He's an emergency.
Yeah.
I saw.
Well, he might. So.
Also for Sydney, for Supercoach players out there, one of the emergencies was Will Gould, who famously has never played a game for Sydney and has always teased Supercoach coaches by being included because we know what he can do. He's been a rookie pricer for 3 years now.
Jeez.
Just never gets in, but he's always thereabouts.
Well, hopefully he gets on. Hopefully hopefully Segler gets on as well.
But the other big story, Max Holmes, not dropped, but omitted through injury.
He dropped his groin, didn't he?
Hamstring.
Oh.
But a hamstring in the prelim. And he was actually named, but he was laid out this morning, obviously a fitness test that he failed. But that's the thing, like you mentioned last week, Geelong, they put up the graphic of all the players that didn't play in the prelim, and it was a very good list.
Yes.
A good amount of good footballers.
Yeah,
so,
bloody was.
they won't be... Whilst it is very disappointing for the individual Max Holmes, I don't think it's too disappointing for the Geelong Footy Club because they've got some very good players to replace him. I don't even know who did.
Oh.
Great reporting.
Great reporting.
breaking news, we know nothing.
Yes, and we might leave it there. And our only advice is to get down to the good shed and kick a barrel and drink a nice beer.
Yeah.
Marcella, you got anything more to say?
Nah.
Do you want to sell your business?
Nah.
To the masses?
Might not be the right audience.
And also, like, you don't want to sell your business because you want to continue working in it. You're not ready to sell it. Hey.
Simmo's been terrible with these jokes.
God. Bye.
Now that you've got Coot, dad jokes are aplenty.
Come on.
And Paul.
I'm still recording.
Good.